Hello, hello. Welcome back to EdgeMate. I'm your host, Chad Cook, partner Bridgepoint Technologies. Again, EdgeMate, this is where we bring in entrepreneurs, tech leaders, and salespeople to see what their edge is, how they differentiate themselves from their competition. And today we have Ben Davis from Phizzle. And a lot of my questions are going to be rhetorical because I've known Ben for over 20 years. But many of you have not. So yes, I'm going to be asking questions, some introductions, and but basically, Phizzle is a enterprise software company focused on the biopharmaceutical industry, and so the podcast is called EdgeMate, and we're actually going to show a device that takes you to the edge. And we were just discussing names earlier. I've already trademarked EdgeMate. I'm just kidding.
We won't take it, I promise.
Okay. Well, I want royalties if you do. Okay.
So there's an opening.
I can always be bought. Okay. I can always be bought. But yeah, okay. So obviously, again, rhetorical questions. But how did you tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how did you find yourself into the Bay Area?
Wow. Okay. So I am originally from Cleveland, Ohio. So,
really?
Yes, yes. A lot of people from Cleveland actually leave Cleveland, and a lot of folks actually come to the Bay Area.
It's the exact same thing. Well, actually, a lot of people from the Midwest get out of the Midwest. The exceptions are actually Indiana, which is kind of an anomaly. How I'm still here, I don't know how my dad got out of Indiana, but Indiana and Kentucky, they just stay there.
Yeah. I mean, my heart's still in Cleveland. I still have a lot of friends and family there, but I wanted to get into high tech. So clearly the Bay Area was the place to be. And I moved out here in 1997.
Okay.
So been out here for
I think
long time.
I was here in 96.
Oh, did you move in 96?
96 or 97, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I started off in the corporate world, had corporate jobs with companies like Xerox, Parametric Technology, EMC, and then decided to become an entrepreneur and become a serial entrepreneur, started and sold a couple different companies.
Yeah, so you actually were there from when I got my MBA at the prestigious college of San Francisco State. You were there for one of my final projects. You've been a CEO for a long time.
Yeah, that was the mobile gaming company.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember being at San Francisco State and talking to your class. That was fun.
That was like close to 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Wow. Yeah. And then tell me a little bit about we'll get into more later when we get to the SWOT analysis segment, but kind of tell me more about what you mean by enterprise software as it pertains to how it helps the pharmaceutical industry.
Sure. So when pharma companies are manufacturing drugs and vaccines, as you can imagine, it's an incredibly complex and complicated process. And there are many different scientific instruments that are required to produce drugs and vaccines. Different types of instruments produced by different manufacturers. And as you can imagine, each one of those instruments has a different user interface. They've got different communication protocols.
Yeah.
They produce data in different formats. So, pharma manufacturing being a highly regulated industry, you really have to synchronize all of the data to make good decisions and sound decisions. And so our software harmonizes data from all of those different instruments.
It sounds like it's very specific. Like it took probably a while to learn all the terminologies, all the algorithms, and it's very specific to these these industries.
Yeah, I mean, what's unique about the software is that it's data agnostic and machine agnostic. So technically, our software could work the same way in oil and gas or CNC manufacturing as it does in pharmaceutical manufacturing. We just happen to we just happened to land in pharma and have built some good traction. Merck is our first customer. So working with a company like Merck, we've really learned a lot about this industry.
Well, let's see the device. Let's can we show it?
Yeah. So this is our edge connectivity device.
We're doing an unpacking right now. This is great.
Yeah. So, we are at our heart, we are a software company. But running our software in a clean room environment proved to be very difficult. And with Merck, ran our software on Cisco 829 routers, and it was not a good fit for a lot of different reasons.
So let's take so the use case for a device like this is tell me about like some of the issues, like having to wait for the data to be done at like a data center or done in the cloud versus done in this box. For like, what are some of the 2 or 3 benefits of having it done locally?
Well, it's more so about connectivity of the instrument. So running instruments in a clean room.
Yeah.
As you know better than anyone, Wi-Fi access is difficult, and so having a clean room compliant instrument to connect scientific instruments was very difficult. So we had a lot of challenges running our software. We'd get calls in the middle of the night telling us that our software was down. But when in fact it had nothing to do with our software, but it had everything to do with the network or the server, or a wide variety of other issues. And so, after a lot of difficulty over a couple of years, we made the strategic decision to build our own instrument to host our software and software like ours. So we built the edge connectivity device to run our software and bring connectivity to any instrument anywhere.
Okay, so I understand that piece. I had a different question, but to summarize, you tried a couple other ways to put your software, and you found over time, trial and error, that it made the most sense to make your own device, like using other companies' devices. There would be like putting your reliance on other companies' devices or network it doesn't matter. It's not your fault. It's still your fault.
Yes, exactly. And there was no instrument, no device in the world that exists like this that's clean room compliant. So we had no choice. If we wanted to sell our software, we had to develop an environment that could perfectly host our software.
Yep. But getting back to my original question, what does it solve? Like what does this solve? So I was doing information locally, like doing the computations locally versus waiting till it gets to the cloud data. Like, what are some of the benefits that this solution solves?
So every scientific instrument is producing lots of data. It's producing scientific data as well as operational data.
Yep.
And when I say operational data, I'm talking specifically about how a lab tech or an operator uses that scientific instrument. Mm-hmm. And so pulling that data off of the instrument and then running it through our platform, which runs on this instrument, enables us to push it to an environment where our customer can then do much deeper analysis of all of that data. Whether or not they want to do it locally in their own environment or push it to the cloud.
Okay.
From that standpoint, it's kind of out of our hands.
Got it.
Our job is to make sure that all of the data produced by all of these disparate instruments are uniform and properly formatted and tagged so that when it reaches that environment to do the heavy analysis, instead of trying to format or synchronize the data, it's ready for that data to be analyzed.
Understood. Okay. All right. So that's good. So let's put a tack in that because we'll get to the SWOT analysis later. But right now, let's keep it light a little bit. Let's. I got some icebreaker questions for you.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, this is awesome. All right. First question. What creative activities do you like to do?
Creative activities.
Don't say golf. That's not creative.
Yeah. With my golf game, it's always an adventure.
Okay, that's a good point.
You know, I mean, right now I am so entrenched with work and what we're doing because there's nothing like it that exists. So every day is a really creative day because me and my team are trying to figure out how to really disrupt arguably one of the largest, oldest industries that exists ever. So my creative juices flow every day with work. Personally,
Disruption.
yeah. Personally, to be honest, there's not a lot of creative things that I'm doing.
Well, I've known you a long time, and your fantasy football team wasn't very creative this year either. So
probably the worst ever. You know, which probably syncs with.
Well, that just means you were working more.
Exactly.
Exactly. So that's you know, if one thing's working, I'd rather have the work than my fantasy football team. I'll tell you that.
I'll take the hit on my worst fantasy season ever.
Okay. There's another icebreaker question. What one accomplishment are you most proud of? This. No, I'm just kidding.
That's one of them. You know, I'd probably say making it as a basketball player in Europe. That's probably one of my biggest accomplishments because no one thought that I'd be able to do that. I mean, when I say nobody, I mean nobody.
We've played basketball several years, rec leagues. What was the country that you that you were playing in?
Yeah, I played in England. I played in London for the Brixton Topcats, which was a Division II league. So we weren't in the top league. So the level of competition wasn't the highest. However, it was still
such a great experience.
Yeah, it was.
That's awesome.
It was truly amazing. I went to London on a one-way ticket with a couple $100 in my pocket, and so you know,
that's awesome.
I got there. I cold called every team in the London area and some outside Birmingham, Manchester, and talked my way into a couple tryouts and eventually made a team and spent almost a year there.
That's awesome.
So that's still something that is very high.
Yeah.
You know, for me.
I still appreciate you feeding me the rock during. You could have took over the games, but you were our floor general, and you let me. I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, I'm a team player, Chad.
I got to work on that. I'm just kidding. I have to be a team player now because I'm getting up there in age. So
do you still play?
I haven't for a while, but then actually the gym I'm a part of actually is starting to do some leagues, and I'm debating whether to risk my life and limb again.
Yeah, be careful. Make sure you stretch a lot before you play, especially at our age. So.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. All right, now we were going into the SWOT analysis. So what would you say a strength of Phizzle versus some of your competition?
I don't think that there's anyone in our marketplace in pharma manufacturing that can automate the harmonization of data. It's just a very difficult thing to do, and we've got some incredible engineers, some incredibly talented people that have developed algorithms that can automate this process, and we have patents on it as well.
That's awesome. So you're almost like a first mover, right?
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which leads me to the weakness. That could be a weakness too, because so we're now on the weakness. So not many people know that you're out there and or understand there's a solution. Talk more about that.
Yeah, well, you know what? In this industry, getting people to change is incredibly difficult when you've been doing things a certain way for so long,
right,
and they work, right? However, with COVID and new FDA mandates, there is more incentive for digitizing mostly manual processes. So pharma companies are being forced to change, and our hope is that we've got the ready-made solution to help them make that change without completely disrupting their existing processes.
Got it. So for opportunities, AI is a buzzword right now. How do you? I mean, would that be an opportunity?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We are, to be clear, we are not an AI application. We never will be. But in order to leverage AI applications, the data has to be uniform, synchronized, and formatted. It's not going to work if you've got disparate data all over the place that's unorganized. We organize that data.
So your software works in congruence with train, like if they're training data and AI and all that good stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're okay.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say some threats are to your company or to your software solutions?
I mean, a lot of people in this industry are trying to solve this problem, right, by digitizing manual processes. So there's lots of ways to do it.
Automation, that's what AI does, right? But you're doing it in a different way. Yeah.
We're doing it in a different way, and so there's threats out there because there's ways to do what we're doing in a much simpler context, which might make it easier for a pharma company to adopt, So
I see. So so like if you can't do it, buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or reverse engineer.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, we've got patents, but we're a small company, and so defending patents against someone larger than us would be difficult. So there's a lot of things we've got to think about.
Got it. But it sounds like, and this is going to lead to the tarot card that I pulled earlier, and it's completely random, and basically I'll show it right now. Because it's a good segue, because how is what's the outlook for your company?
Also, I'm about to learn.
When you're in your board meetings, you're like, listen, Chad pulled a tarot card. I think we're gonna be fine.
Wow. Should I be nervous?
No, actually, it's the Page of Pentacles. All right.
Oh.
So the pentacle is a other known as a coin, and coin means obtaining something, which in this case would be attaining market share or attaining revenues. And a page, it typically is who assists a knight. So it's someone that's new. It's something new, something that's we're learning, get to know the ropes, and this is a new product.
Yeah.
And it needs to get out there. So I see a lot of success with this new product of yours. Page of Pentacles, new service. I don't know if you're going to call it the Edge Maker or whatnot, but yeah, I see a lot of success with that in the future.
Well, as far as the tarot card, you had me at attainment of coin.
There we go. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Awesome. Well, thank you for being a part of the EdgeMate podcast. Please, sign up for subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're not connected to me at LinkedIn, link in. And if you're in the biopharma industry and have more questions, about this service and what it can do for you, his information will be probably right down here. My editor will figure it out. I don't know if it will be left or the right, but there you go. Have a good rest of the day. Happy New Year. Take care.